All right, it's October 20th, 2018, 4:04 p.m. I'm dressed. I am battling remote neural monitoring. I live in Dayton, Ohio. The area is called Kettering. I'm going to combat my programming by reading out loud. The book I'm reading is the United Independent Compensatory Code System Concept, a textbook, workbook for thought, speech, and/or action for victims of racism and white supremacy. If you do not understand white supremacy, racism, what it is, and how it works, everything else that you understand will only confuse you. Neely Fuller, Jr., 1971. Page 19. This is the original book. There is a revised version and a dictionary that he has. He has a website. He has there's thousands of YouTubers around the African diaspora that have uploaded him speaking on Talktainment Radio. It's a Columbus, Ohio radio station, a community. It's black. Okay, the Special Introductory Information Guide. 3 basic types of people in the known universe: white people, non-white people, white supremacist, racist. Just so we're clear, that is 3 basic types of people. 1, white people. 2, non-white people. 3, white supremacist, racist. Explanation. 1. White people are people who classify themselves as white and have been classified as white, accepted as white by other people classified as white, and who generally function as white in all of the 9 major areas of activity, including economics, education, entertainment, labor, law, politics, religion, sex, and war. 2. Non-white people are people non-white people are people who have been classified as non-white and or who generally function as non-white in their relationships with each other and with people classified as white in all of the 9 major areas of activity, including economics, education, entertainment, labor, law, politics, religion, sex, and war. Number 3. White supremacist. Racist are people who classify themselves as white and who generally function as white and who practice racial subjugation based on white, non-white classifications against people classified as non-white. At any time, in any place, in any one or more of the 9 major areas of activity, including economics, education, entertainment, labor, law, politics, religion, sex, and war. 9 major areas of people activity in the known universe, 1 through 9. 1. Economics. 2. Education. 3. Entertainment. 4. Labor. 5. Law. 6. Politics. 7. Religion. 8. Sex. 9. War. Explanation. Area 1. Economics, which means the correct distribution of and or balance between all animals, persons, places, plants, things, etc. Economics in the correct sense is the sum total of all of the thought, speech, and or action used to produce maximum efficiency in revealing truth in a manner that promotes the establishment of justice and correctness in all areas of activity, including education, entertainment, labor, law, politics, religion, sex, and war. Economics also means using all things, thought, speech, and or action, with maximum efficiency, with the objective of eliminating racism, white supremacy. Economics does not mean simply acquiring, saving, and or spending money. Economics is not a tool of money. Money is a tool of economics. Economics is the result of a person or person speaking and acting effectively in the production of justice and correctness. It is not simply how money is handled that determines economics. It is a matter of how everything is handled and to what end. In order for a person who is a victim of racism, or victim of white supremacy, to practice economics, that person must speak and act to produce justice and correctness in the sum total of everything that he or she says and or does. This includes the use of time, the consumption of food and drink, sexual intercourse and or thoughts of sexual intercourse, the use of music, the manner and use of labor, etc. For example, if listening to a particular type of sound inspires a person to think better while performing some function that helps to eliminate racism, white supremacy, then that type of sound becomes music. And that person at that time serves an economical purpose. The same is true for any other thing and or function pertaining to a person in any of his or her day-to-day activities. As regards action against racism, white supremacy, economic correctness is not determined by any one or more things that a victim of racism, non-white person does and or doesn't do, by the sum total of everything that the victim does and or doesn't do in terms of effective results against racism. Area 2, education, which means the process of learning all things about all things, and or the process of learning all things about one thing. Note, if all is known about one thing, then all is known about all things, because all things are interrelated. Area number 3, entertainment, which means an activity that is desired and or enjoyed, including that which is just and or unjust, and that which is correct and or incorrect. Area 4, labor, which means any act of using energy to accomplish an objective. Area 5, law, which means anything that is done. 6, politics, which means people relations and or any relations between people at any time, in any place, in any area of activity. Area 7, religion, which means the sum total of everything that a person thinks, plus everything that he or she says, plus everything that he or she does. A religion includes all parts of a person's existence, each and every minute of each and every day. Even if those parts are never put into words, they are still a part of a person's religion. If that person willfully and deliberately speaks and acts according to those parts, religion is not separate from existence, nor separate from any part of existence. Anything that a person says or does that is willful and deliberate is a part of that person's religion. Area 8, sex, which means any social material interrelationship between male and female. Area 9, war, which means any willful and deliberate unjust speech and or action that is used effectively against any creature. Note, all of the 9 major areas of people activity are interrelated. What happens in one area of activity affects all other areas of activity. What a person does in the area of economics affects what that person does in the area of religion or sex or war, etc. The racist white supremacists, by dominating their victims, non-white people, in one area of major activity, also at the same time dominates them in all areas of major activity. 4 basic motivating factors in people, behavior, and the known universe. 1, racism, white supremacy. 2, reaction to racism. 3, sexual expression. 4, reaction to sexual expression. Explanation. Racism in the form of white supremacy is the greatest motivating force by people that exist among the people of the known universe. Every person in the known universe is either practicing white supremacy racism or he or she is compelled at all times to react to those persons who are practicing it. Both the practice of white supremacy and the reaction to it affects all people in all areas of activity, including economics, education, entertainment, labor, law, politics, religion, sex, and war. Sexual intercourse and or sexual play is the second greatest motivating force by people that exist among the people of the known universe. Every person in the known universe is either engaging in acts of sexual intercourse and or sexual play, or he or she is at all times directly or indirectly reacting to those who are so engaged. Both the acts of sexual intercourse and or sexual play and the reaction to such acts affects all people in all areas of activity, including economics, education, entertainment, labor, law, politics, religion, sex, and war. No other social material forces by people affect so many people in so many places, so much in so many areas of activity as the factors of race, racism, and sex. Two basic problems among the people of the known universe. One, lack of knowledge and understanding of the reason for existence and or for non-existence. Two, racism, white supremacy. Explanation. Every problem among the people of the known universe can today be traced to 1. A lack of knowledge and understanding of reason for existence and or non-existence, compounded by and promoted by 2. The practice of racism in the form of white supremacy. This is true in all areas of activity among people, including economics, education, entertainment, labor law, politics, religion, sex, and war. 5 major political isms in thought, speech, and or action of all people in the known universe. 1. Racism. One or more white persons using deceit, direct violence, and or the threat of violence to promote falsehood, non-justice, and or incorrectness against non-white people on the basis of color in order to satisfy white people in one or more areas of activity, including economics, education, entertainment, labor, law, politics, religion, sex, and or war. 2. Meism. Any one person thinking, speaking, and or acting to satisfy him or herself with little or no concern for others in one or more areas of activity, including economics, education, entertainment, labor, law, politics, religion, sex, and or war. 3. Twoism. Any two people thinking, speaking, and or acting to satisfy each other with little or no concern for others in one or more areas of activity, including economics, education, entertainment, labor law, politics, religion, sex, and war. Tribalism. Number 4. Any 3 and or sometimes more than 3 people thinking, speaking, and or acting to satisfy each other with little or no concern for others in one or more areas of activity, including economics, education, entertainment, labor law, politics, religion, sex, and or war. 5. Universalism. Any one or more persons thinking, speaking, and or acting to promote the revelation of truth and using the truth revealed in some manner as to promote justice and correctness at all times, in all places, in all areas of activity, including economics, education, entertainment, labor law, politics, religion, sex, and war. two basic classes of people in the known universe. One, the powerful class, white supremacist. Two, the powerless class, all non-white people and those white people who are not white supremacists. Explanation. Since the establishment of white supremacy racism among the people of the known universe, the terms upper class, middle class, and or lower class have become so meaningless that to use such terms to describe any people does not promote justice, but serves only to promote great confusion. It is therefore best not to use such terms to describe any people now in existence in the known universe. Under white supremacy and or as long as white supremacy exists, the best and most accurate way to describe people by using the category of class is to describe their power relationship to each other. By so doing, all white people who practice white supremacy, racism, must be recognized as the only people in the known universe who are the powerful class. All non-white people being subjected to the powerful class are therefore the powerless class. In addition, those white persons who do not practice white supremacy are also the powerless class. These white people who do not practice white supremacy are not subject to the white supremacists, the powerful class. The fact that no white person is subject to white supremacy, racism greatly confuses many non-white people. Some non-white people think that some white people are victims of white supremacy. They believe this when they see or hear about some white people doing things to harm other white people. They then conclude that some white people practice white supremacy against each other, such a conclusion is incorrect. White people do not practice acts of non-justice against each other, but it is not possible for a white person to practice the major unjust act of white supremacy against a white person. All people, however, both white and non-white, practice non-justice against each other all of the time, in all places and all areas of activity, including economics, education, entertainment, labor, law, politics, religion, sex, and war. The master injustice, however, is white supremacy, and it is only practiced by white people against non-white people. No white person is subject to white supremacy. It is possible, however, for a white person to be powerless to do anything that is effective against the practice of white supremacy. Some examples of such persons are white people who are infantile and or who are so senile in mind and body that they are completely dependent on others for all of their care and are completely incapable of doing harm to others. Since all of the white people who practice white supremacy are the powerful class, it generally serves no useful purpose for a non-white person to worry about which individual white person is more powerful than another within that class. A white supremacist is a white supremacist, powerful person. How one white supremacist relates to another white supremacist at any particular moment should be of no major concern to a non-white person. Since all white supremacists are committed to the practice of racism, white supremacy. In any event, the white supremacists who as individuals are smarter than many other white supremacists will in all matters involving the maintenance of white supremacy give effective support to those who are not so smart. This guarantees that all people classified as white are automatically entitled to receive benefits special only to people classified as white in a world social material system dominated by white supremacists, the powerful class. Also, the very existence of white supremacy, racism, automatically eliminates the possibility of any non-white person being so-called upper class or middle class in his or her relationship to any person, any place. Such persons are all subject, class, and or quote unquote, the powerful class. As long as white supremacy exists, it is false and incorrect to say that any black and or non-white person is upper class or middle class. How can they be? If they are upper class or middle class, upper or middle class of what? As compared to what? As compared to who? Certainly not white people, and definitely not white supremacists. In matters of class, non-white people compare with each other, which under white supremacy is only meaningless, pitiful, and an admission of weakness and subservience to white supremacy, but an acknowledgement of their fear to admit it openly. Though all non-white people are functional lower class, meaning they are all lower in comparison to the white people of the known universe, it is better not to say that they are lower class. To do so would be to promote questions regarding the confusing terms, upper class or middle class. Therefore, in referring to the class status of all non-white people, it is better to say that they are the powerless class. As long as white supremacy exists, it is incorrect for any non-white person to pretend that he or she is any class of person other than the powerless class.